Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I just want to reach out to all of you beautiful souls out there, see how all of you are doing, and I hope you were able to get out in nature somewhere. Plus, I know in my area, like this week is, like kind of up and down around 70, so I'm going to take that. I've been waiting for that kind of temperature in my area. No complaints here. And anyway, I don't know what your temperature is where you are. So, like when it was wintertime in my area, I still went out for a hike, So you might say, oh, it's cold in my area. Hey, if I could do it, you can. I'm a female. You just got to dress up good, get the right kind of shoe wear or boots, if you got snow, and that's what, like I made a lot of videos with me walking out in the snow, walking over creeks and stuff in the wintertime, being careful. And I did make a video where I accidentally, it was so funny, the whole way in on the trail, I was so cautious of not falling. And, where on my way back, when I wasn't even thinking about falling, that's when I fell. With the phone in my hand, recording and giggling after, where I didn't get hurt, and it's a good spot where I did fall because throughout the other areas there was a lot of rocks, like all over. I could have got really hurt, like hit my butt or any body part, but a lot of times we're going to fall on our ass. So anyway, I really always want to encourage you. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself and, your loved ones. Hey, 444, sorry. I'm into numbers if you don't know that. And so anyway, be grateful. With me, I have really, the only people that I have physically in my life is my two kids, my son and my daughter-in-law, and my two grandsons. That's it. Those are the only ones I see physically, like where we can visit each other. Normally I'm visiting them, though. I'm the one that's always driving out, pretty much. So, so anyway, be grateful for who you have. Maybe you don't have any family, but you might have friends. Like I have a friend, a couple, not very many friends, like really I don't have any friends that call me on the phone. And I don't have any friends that actually visit me or I visit them. But, I contact them on the internet, one way or another, either social media or the Instagram. So if you have friends that you are in contact with, make sure you reach out to them, see how they're doing, check up on them, be a good friend, and if you think you have friends and you're not sure if they're really your friends or you're battling with them, you always want to try to work things out. But if you've already done that so many times already, you might want to let that friend go, because some people, they can't forgive. And I did, you might want to check that out, as I did make a video, is that, do you have a hard time forgiving other people? So you might not have the problem, but they might, So sometimes you might have to let people go so you can grow. It's kind of like do you like gardens? I love gardens. I really love starting them when they're seeds, like in my own place, like with the right light, where they can have enough light, like it's good to have it on in the daytime, so because I don't like light on at nighttime. I like it pitch black, like I'm not afraid of the dark. Where if say if you started plants in your house, like that's the way I love doing it. I really don't like going in the store buying them when they already have, started. They're just ready for the garden, because then I'm like, hey, I took care of these little babies. I did this. I got them growing, and then they got really strong, and I get to learn a lot like that. I know, like tomato plants, they are very fragile. They are very fragile. They don't like, you can't send them outside. I learned the hard way on that, and it's so sad when you got like I always overdo it with my seeds. I'm like, you figure you get a package of tomato seeds. How many seeds is in that package? you know, there could be like 30 or even more, you know, maybe 50 seeds. Starlight's okay, you know, like I got like 50 seeds, you know. You know, you don't want to quite, unless you really got the space to plant all those 50 tomato plants. How many tomatoes are you going to eat, Starlight? So I've learned that you don't really need that many unless you're going to sell them, you know, for one family. And it's just me right here, you know, and I love actually, if I was able to have a garden, I love actually giving a lot of my stuff away to family or friends if I have any. So the thing is that why I'm mentioning this is if you put those plants out in your garden, and I've had gardens in different locations where I had some of these horrible weeds that came up. We lived in a certain area, and they were really bad weeds. They were really horrible. They actually had leaves that if you touched them, they kind of stuck to your hands like, and they were viney kind of plants. So you know, when it comes to bad friends, or not bad, but like friends that are negative or not very helpful for you, friends that are not good for you, you know, like for your well-being, maybe you want to grow and, you know, change the way you are, and your friend doesn't want you to grow. Maybe they're throwing you off, you know, like trying to get you to do all these things that you don't want to do, like drinking or alcohol or smoking cigarettes or going out and fornicating like a dog. And, you know, those might be the kind of friends you might be like, I am working on this, but my friend, they just keep on inviting me and I don't want to say no. So I always say yes, and then I go and do it. Then later on I beat myself up because I didn't listen to myself. And now, you know, I didn't get anything done like I was going to do if I just listened to myself. Listen to yourself. You know, so like a plant, when you put all those, you have your garden already rotilled, depending on if you have that, or the other way I like doing garden, either rotilling it or have them in those boxes where you have like frames, you know, like a wood, and then you can put your own topsoil, you know, like in there, you know, where you don't get the weeds, you know, like that is really good. It does take a lot of work and more money, but, you know, less weeds, you know, where you don't want to be working the whole time on weeds. And that's what sometimes can happen, is that you might have a family member or a friend that's kind of like a weed. They're going to choke the life out of you. They will. Like the plant that those weeds that I had growing wherever I was growing, I don't remember where it was, but I remember the weeds. They were horrible. They kept on popping up. And I know with a weed, the only way, or any plant, is that you gotta get it out by the roots. You gotta get that out. If you just like with grass, if you pulled it out of the ground, because I used to work at a a landscape place called Neat and Green when I was really young, like 16, 17 years old, is, you know, I was picking weeds a lot, picked a lot of weeds, you know, and if you don't get it out by the root, it will come back and grow, you know, so it's like double your work. So you want to pull it out by the root, you know, and sometimes it's what you got to do with family or friends. You might have to just, you know, because they're going to come back, you know, you're like, hey, you know, I communicated with you, and, you know, this is not working, you know, and then they act good for a while, maybe a couple of years, and then they start to it again, you know, and it's like, huh, you know, because that you didn't pull it out by the roots. So anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked about that, is that if you don't have the right kind of friends, you might have to pull them out, or the family. You know, if you got family that's in the gossip and um, gossiping and drama all the time, 24/7, you know, no matter when you go there, you know, they got always something to talk about, you know, in a negative way, not a good positive way, always tearing people down and all that stuff, and, you know, nitpicking at stuff, or, hey, did you hear about so-and-so, and all that stuff, and all that stuff is not good for you. You might have been brought up around that stuff and thought it was normal. You know, you thought, huh, that's just the way people are. They just talk about stuff, you know, or dreading about things or fearing about stuff, and you're trying to not. You want to be positive, and then you're around all these people that are negative. You know, it's gonna, just like those weeds are gonna. They're like those ones that I had that were like vines, and that's what they do. If you have a really nice strong plant, and it's healthy and it's doing good. And you got to really, in a garden, you got to keep those weeds out of there, and those weeds will come up, especially those viney ones are a really pain. They're a real nuisance, and or if you don't have the right stuff to, like to keep those weeds out, if you didn't do your garden the right way in the beginning, and it costs a lot of money to do that though, is those viney ones, the viney weeds, and I don't even know what the name of those ones were. They were really bad. They actually will wrap right around your plant like a vine, and they start tugging it. They will. They just start tugging it right down to the ground because they're gonna stretch and all this stuff, and then you come back and look at your garden, and you're like, and they could do damage, just like people, friends or family, so like it's horrible. It's hard. It is. I had to let a lot of people out of my life, family, or I had a person that was like a couple were like a friend, but I had to let them go, so I can grow, so I can turn into a beautiful butterfly. I want to turn into a butterfly, so I can fly around, anyway, you might have to let people go. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little carried away, but I had to talk about those weeds with because it is that time in my area with people with gardens, where we probably are past that frost. I'm not sure in different areas is, depending on the plants. You don't want to stick out those tomato plants too early because they're not really a hardy plant like some of them, like squash or something like that, are more hardy. They can handle the cold, where tomatoes, even the wrong wind can kill them really quick. And, so they're really hard in the beginning to put them out at the right time. You want to make sure they're strong enough before you put them out in the garden, and the right temperature, but anyway, is before I get started on my video, you can give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, because when you help me, you're helping me to reach all of these other people out there that could use help too. So you could be a part of being the change that you want to see in the world, and that starts with me and you. So anyway, like I said, you can like this video, you can share it with a friend, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can ring the notification bell. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can there's a lot of Starlights on YouTube, so if you just looked up my name, Starlight, you might not find me. So you have to look up Starlight, and that's with Kathy with a K, Dingman. And if you want to leave a message, you can either down below this video or on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I did want to reach to you. I made videos, a lot of videos before on Facebook, but I deleted a lot of them, and so I am reinventing the ones that I did before. So those of you that already watched these videos, I am sorry, it's not going to be exactly the same, because anytime, if you make videos, you know what that's like. If you ever redo a video, it's never going to be word for word. It's always going to be something different, something added or something taken away or whatever. So here we go with a different video. And I just got done making a video before this, and I got to figure out the title for that one, so I'm not sure what the title is going to be for this, but I believe I'm going to have it, Do You Need an Upgrade? Is the name of this. That's what I did before on my other video. So, and anyway, do you need an upgrade? You're probably thinking, an upgrade? What do you mean an upgrade? I'll tell you, this world is getting kind of strange with all the technology. You really need to be careful out there, and I don't want to scare you. This is not a video to scare you. I want you to let love guide you, not fear, and that comes from a friend of mine. If you ever want to check him out, he's a deep diver, though. If you can't handle going deep, then that might not be the guy you want to go and watch videos from, because he doesn't play around. He's a beautiful soul, though. It comes from his heart. but that's Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, and maybe you already watch Ralph Smart out there, Infinite Waters, so if you do, hey, you're getting a lot of help from him, so that's what I learned from him. I learned a lot of things from him, and that was let love guide you, not fear. So I'm not here to scare you. It's to help you. It's almost like if we are going to get bad weather, what you want to know about it, kind of thing. Of course, if you are in an area that gets tornadoes, and I know that there's a tornado coming in your area, and I don't say anything, would you get pretty mad at me? Of course. So I'm here to help you of things that I have learned in my lifetime, so then, I want your life to be easier, where, instead of being lied to by other people like the government, the school system, the news. I mean, if you watch the news, I can't tell you what to do, but really, I would work on, definitely, you can't believe everything the news tells you. You got to check out who runs those news channels, who's the ones that are running those. There's not a lot of truth in a lot of the news today, so you do got to be cautious of what you hear, and you probably think of that when you think of COVID, of all the stuff they said, how many injections, and I'm not here to talk about that, but really you think about all the things they said, how long COVID was going to last, how all that, like how long did it last, how many injections did they start off first, and how many did they end now? What is it? I don't watch the news, so the last that I heard was 6 injections, and then there's people that probably got that 6, and still got the COVID. So anyway, but I'm not here to talk about COVID today. It's about getting an upgrade, and what I was learning about my phone is like even my computer, if I didn't get an upgrade, and I get upset about this, it's just another way that these people get more money out of not just me, but you. And you might be that person out there that can't wait for the new next phone. You're like, oh, I want so you can brag and tell everybody, hey, I got the new upgrade on this phone, and look at what this phone can do. And then, and then before you know it, they already got it. They got this stuff way ahead of our time, really. They don't put it out. They kind of like hand feed us stuff, like just like little crumbs here and there. But they got so much ahead of us, like the technology way, they already know so much. They already have like, and I don't know, they already have technology where you can open up your car with your hand, imagine that, because they already got like chips that you could put in your hands, and I would not run out getting that thing either. So don't think, hey, that sounds like a cool thing. Believe me, it's not going to be a cool thing. They do already have that out there. They got the RFID chips out there. They've been using that. They use things on the animals. That's where they're going to start. They're going to want to use it with the kids. They're going to want to use that. They already got people already out there. I already watched it. They could even try to force you to say, hey, if you want this help, like for health insurance, in order to get it for free, they might actually say, hey, you got to get this chip in your hand in order to buy food, like it's in the Bible, in Revelations, I think, 13, where it's letting you know about the number of the beast, 666, and a lot of you might think, oh, that's a bunch of baloney, but you wait. There's a movie that they made a long time ago called Thief of the Night. It's got like 4 movies to it. It's a very old movie. You ought to check that out, find it. I'm not sure, but it is Thief of the Night. It's an old movie. It might be hard for you to get into, but that's about the RFID chip. They made that long time ago, but I watched that when I was really young, when I started out as a Christian, that chip, and that does exist. Like I said, they're going to want to scare people getting that chip in the kids' hands so you don't lose your kids, because it's going to have a tracking device in there. And then they're going to have all your medical records, all your bank records, everything in this little chip, like a piece of rice, and they're going to just stick that baby right in there. They already got it. You can watch the videos. It's on YouTube or you could Google it, the RFID chip, so, and, that, they said either right here, a little grain of rice that they just have like a little gun that just, shoots right in there. And that way, it would be your bank account. So all your money would be in there. So when you go through that's why I didn't want nothing to do with those self-service. When that came, I was like, I wasn't stupid when that came out, the self-service stuff, and that's where I go now. I'm like, well, they're gonna do this to, it's coming to that anyway. They don't want cash anymore. So they're gonna get rid of cash one of these times, where you don't have cash anymore. So it's gonna be, and then they have the smart card. And this is not to scare you. Some of you might already know all about this before I even did, but I've known this for a long time with the smart card and the chip. And the card is going to be the same as, like it's going to have your bank information, it's going to have your health records in there, and they are not going to tell you this, but there's going to be a chipping, tracking device in that baby too, and they're going to say it's to protect you and your bank account so nobody can hack into your bank account. And they're going to have all these reasons why they're going to try to talk you into that thing, just like the way they did with COVID, all the reasons and how they were trying to be so forceful of you getting that injection. How many times did you go around and commercials were out there? I couldn't even go on the thruway. It's like, what, like really, you got to have a sign out here on the thruway about COVID? Yeah, I don't need, that they were programming us so quick. I couldn't believe how fast everything went, how quick they were so quick about getting all these masks made, and people were going out and, like boom, the commercials, how quick. It's it's really something. And, like with our wearing the mask, like they didn't want to see our friendly smiles, or hear what we got to say. It's cover your mouth up kind of. That's it. That's exactly. And about the 6 feet, that they wanted to even be further away than 6 feet. Well, have fun with that one. So you really do. You gotta be careful of all that stuff and where all this is going. You might be one of those people that loves all this the technology these days. You might think, hey, that would be cool to have all my bank statements, my record statements, and all this, like all this stuff all in one package and a little grain of rice right in my hand or on your forehead, like it says in the Bible. And I'm not sure. I believe it is chapter 13 in Revelations where it says that if you don't have that, that the number of the beast, then when you go, and this is why, like, that it's why you should not fear, really. Let love guide you, not fear. That's why it's so important for you to grow your own vegetables. I got potatoes in my bedroom. I didn't have the right seeds. I love tomatoes, fresh out of the garden, and a lot of stuff fresh out of the garden. Tomatoes are really yummy. Blueberries on a bush. I used to pick blueberries for a living, not a living, but for extra cash, $10 an hour. It really pretty much paid out for that. It took me about an hour to make that $10 for that hour. And but I could eat all the blueberries I wanted. When I did Starlight eat blueberries, you betcha. Starlight was like, I like these ones. These ones actually are big, and I love the way these ones taste. And then I tried another blueberry bush. I'm like, wow, these ones taste different, So I had a lot of blueberries, so that was really good for my body at the time. So if you want an upgrade, that means that you need to, like, just like what they do with your cell phones and your computers, is that you got to kind of get rid of a lot of stuff that you had in your old phone or your computer. That means, like with me as a person, you have to really, your way of thinking has to get changed in order for you to get an upgrade. You can't think the old ways that you think. Like, you think about it, like, you might have a mom or dad or a grandpa or grandma that doesn't know how to use the technology, right? Where they're going to miss out and on what's really going on in life because they're up in years, and they really don't have what it takes to do the internet, or the cell phones. I know a lot of people struggled with that, with the cell phones, when they came out. A lot of frustrations. I went through it. You might have went through it, get frustrated with cell phones, learning how to use them and stuff like that. Well, with like to get an upgrade with your body, that you gotta really change everything, the way you think and the way you see things. But, there's no, there's no book out there that tells you how to live in this matrix out here, because that's what we are in, whether you believe that or not. Some people think that's just a movie, but it was a documentary, where, I had somebody respond to me on my Facebook saying, oh, that was just a movie. That's what you think. It wasn't a movie, but it was a documentary. But, I didn't fully understand everything. I thought I understood everything up to a certain point in that movie, but that's my best movie out there that has been created. It's a wake-up call, where that means that you have to, like, change your way of thinking and figure out what, like, instead of being negative and fearful about everything, you got to be positive. You got to let go of the past. You got to stay in the now. You don't want to fear about the future. And it's easier for me to say that. It is a bitch to do it. It really is. It is hard to reprogram yourself. I was reprogrammed before in a church. Then when I got out of the church, I had to, like I unplugged. I really did. I was like, like of how many years? 7 years of being being programmed to be a certain way, to think a certain way. It took them 7 years to reprogram me, and I didn't know what I was doing though. I knew I had to de-reprogram myself, unprogram myself or whatever, like delete. So I did. I was trying to figure it out how to do that, but I didn't know how to reprogram myself, how to to grow and how to do things without being in the church. And so I thought only I was going to grow if I went to church. So if you really are interested in any of that, you ought to really check out Infinite Waters. Ralph Smart, he is the man to go to. He's been dealing with this. He's been studying people, for a long time. He's been making lots and lots of videos. He's been on YouTube for a long time. So really, he knows a lot about the Matrix and a lot about what's going on and what's not going on. And, he is the real deal. So you really ought to check him out, because he's got so much more than I do on that topic. But I am learning a lot about, like, the Matrix. It's that you can't believe everything with your eyes. You really do. You got to be careful of what you believe these days. And now they got the AI, which I was learning that through Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, is, they can make you, take your voice and copy it, and make it sound like you, and I believed in clones before, cloning people, so it is, you got to really think about, what is going on these days and the technology that they have. And like I said, they already got so much stuff. It's like in a storage unit somewhere of all, they're using all the old junk first. They're giving you all the garbage first. They got the real stuff, they got that stuff, but they want to get as much money out of your ass, really, as much money, like the computers. So we're far behind on really the technology, like the Amish, you think, it's like being an Amish person, as far behind, behind that they are, not having cell phones and not having phones for their houses. It would be almost like you're an Amish person, not driving cars around, and having technology like we have today. That's how, we are so far behind, way behind. So, if you want to really, I know this video is getting long, but really you got to really, you might have to let go of a lot of people in your life. And it's sad to say, you might have to, because if you're going to reprogram yourself, you're not going to be in alignment with those people anymore. If you're trying to grow and become a higher, greater version of yourself, You're not going to align with those people that you were hanging out with. If you're trying to work on yourself, some people try to go to college, to get better, to get degrees and all that because they want to improve themselves. They might have friends that trip them up. Hey, let's go to, the bars on the weekend, let's hang out, go to the dance place, let's check out some chicks. Maybe we can pick them up. Maybe we can get them to, guys will do that. I've gone to dance places a lot where I've had, guys, hey, I'll buy you a drink. Hey, I didn't even have to bring any money with me, really. Just go there empty-handed. Guys always wanting to buy a pretty girl a drink, right? Well, they want you to drink a little too much. Hey, if we get her a little tipsy, it wouldn't take much for me, though, depending on how much alcohol they put in that baby. And I don't drink anymore. Gave that up like a long time ago here. Might be good 6 months, I believe, on my alcohol, maybe a little longer than that. So I did like my wine, though. It tasted really yummy. It was always a red wine, pretty much. And but it does cost a lot of money. Like the way I was drinking it, it's like it was good. But anyway, and I don't miss it. Once I drank what I had here, I gave actually a whole bottle away. You're probably wondering how come you didn't give it to you. And it's so funny. The people I gave it to, they gave me money for it, and they didn't even drink any of it. I didn't have anybody else to give it to. I didn't know where to give it to, so I didn't know about you. So anyway, you do that. You might have to let go of friends because they're going to trip you up, just like I said in the beginning of this video. Is like weeds. They will. They'll strangle you. They will choke you up. Where you will not be able to produce that fruit like you want to. You want to produce that fruit, right? You want to grow. You want to be abundant, be rich, be loaded with money, or have love, whatever your thing is. Like if you have people that are tripping you up and trying to, get you distracted. That's how the government and the news works. I did that with my kids. I know distractions work. My kid would have a little tantrum, because they all do at different stages, especially when they learn that they can't have something and they want it, and then they start learning the no's, and then they start telling you no, and then it's a onward thing for a while about no, no, I'm not gonna, no, so instead of arguing with my kids, I learned really quick as a mom is not to, because you're not going to get anywhere. They're at a certain age. Is distraction works. Hey, let's look at that over there. And they're like, oh, okay. So they go running over there, forgetting what the heck they completely forgot why they were even upset in the first place, is because they got distracted. That's why the news they do what they do there. Trying to get you to watch football. What is football for? Distractions. Yeah, all the sports out there. Distractions. The Olympics. Distractions. It's taking you away from what you could be working on. I'd rather play it than actually sit down and waste all that hours, like watching it. So if you like football, hey, grab your friends, go out to a nice grassy field somewhere, play football, get a workout, man. Why sit on the couch when you could go out and play it? That's my intake on the whole thing of football. And I did. I sat there like one winter, did the whole entire, from the beginning all the way to the end. I learned a lot about football, and I'm like, this is a setup. They're really ripping people off. A lot of people gamble on that football game. Illegal gambling online that you can get hooked up to. Just give a fake, whatever information, however they pull that off. Where you can gamble and try to win on your team. All that. Did you ever look at the history on the football teams, where they all came from, the history? Netflix has a documentary on all the football. There's a lot of different names of football teams out there, and the history and the people that created all this stuff. It's all distraction. So you're so busy with football at wintertime, right? You love football, right? You love it. You want to keep up with your guys, so when they say, hey, wasn't that a good game? And then you got to have something to talk with them for, so you don't want to feel left out. So I've seen this, believe me. It's a lot of fake stuff right there, like You know, you might want to go out and enjoy your life, but then you got your friends that really are, they're football, man. They got their hats, they got the blankets, they got the jackets. You know, they might even paint their faces, you know, like the color of their teams. Like they got the one with a half color on that side, whatever team that is. You probably know who that team is. I forgot. So, you know, it's all to distract you, so you can't really focus on what is really going on out there. So you got to have not just these eyes open, but this eye open here, you know, like your third eye. Do some third eye meditations, guided meditations. I do the third eye meditations and the also with clarity, you know, guided meditations for clarity. And that is, you know, some of those will be with your third eye, you know, where you can start seeing clearer and realize that you can see through their bullshit. You know, because they're all about making money, and they don't, a lot of those people on the news don't care about you. You know, look at what happened with COVID. Did you like all that stuff that was happening with COVID and all the things that they said about the injection and how they were trying to force people? You might have been one of those people that got the injection, and you might have thought, "Yay, force them to get it." Well, then you're messing everything up for our freedoms by acting that way. Yes, I said that. You are. If you're trying to make more of a mess because you're fearing stuff, you're not letting love guide you. You know, you're letting fear guide you. You're letting them manipulate you. You're believing all the bull that they have. You're trying to keep up with it, and all that stuff you found out at the end. You were really disappointed, weren't you? Because you might have got it COVID anyway, even though you did everything. You did everything that they told you to do. I know you did. You know you did. You wore the mask out in public. You stayed 6 feet apart. When they said to get that one injection, you ran out there, you got it. Then they said the next one, you ran out there and got it, and up to the sixth one, but you still ended up getting COVID, didn't you? That's my whole point. And how long was it supposed to last? Like 3 weeks, or whatever in the beginning. I don't listen to the news. You know, I don't have to. Everybody else is telling me about it. So anyway, those are freebies. So you really do. You don't want to make matters worse when it comes to our freedoms. You know, like everybody, God gave us a free will. You know, so you wouldn't want to go out and say, yes, force all of them to wear the mask. Yes, force all of them. Because later on, you're going to regret acting that way. You're going to regret. You were in fear. That's why you were acting that way. You believed everything the news told you and what the government was telling you and how they made you respond. And that's why now you have issues. You know, think about your future. You know, don't think, like we have rights. We need those rights. You know, like, I'm glad I can wear whatever clothes I can wear. Not everybody in the world can wear what they want. A lot of women have to cover up from head to toe when they go out in public. I know what that's like. You know, like to have every body part covered up, like and acting like if you didn't have your body parts covered, that you could get called a prostitute or a whore or a slut, so who would want to get, there's some women that like getting called whores and sluts and all that stuff, but not all women want to get called whores and sluts or cunts and all that stuff. And I'm being real with you. Anyway, is that really you do have to let go of all that old ways of thinking to be able to get an upgrade. And that's, you might have to let a lot of people go because they're only going to trip you up, only going to, like I said with the football, distract you, like I did with my kids, distracted them, didn't I? Yes, I did. It worked. And that's why they do it. It works. So even with movies, you get programmed a certain way to act, to behave, and the school system does it. The churches, they're guilty, like of trying to have everybody a certain way. That way it's easier for them to control you. So there's so many people out there that are trying to control you. You need to let that go. You need to stop letting people, like try to control you and taking your free will away. You have a free will. God gave you that right to keep your free will. So anyway, I do love all of you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, it's nothing like the first one I made. Absolutely not. It's had more in it. you know, and I knew it wasn't going to be the same because I can't, I can't remember what I said in my last video. So anyway, like our phones and computers, you're going to need an upgrade to be able to make it through, or you're going to be one of those people that have to get that injection, you know, and they can create those viruses. Don't let them fool you. You know, that's what I thought when they kept on coming up with more viruses. Okay. The first one was enough, and another one, and then oh, now we got this coming on. Fear. You know, just try to scare the shit out of you. That's about all that was, to try to control you, manipulate you, program you. That's what they've been trying to do for years. They don't want us to, you know, like it's really ridiculous, the stuff that they get away with, really. So you don't want to make matters worse by going out and trying to, you know, like have everybody else do what they wanted us to do, like take those injections and wear a mask. The way I looked at it, on the mask part, is if you're so afraid, you wear the mask. If you're so afraid, you get the injection. But I'm not afraid of getting it. You know, like my health is good. I didn't have to worry about it. You know, I didn't have to worry about going out and, you know, I wasn't afraid of getting COVID. You know, I was more afraid of what was in that injection, to be honest with you, because I've had medications that messed me up. The side effects were terrible, you know, and, you know, like I didn't take that injection because I was letting love guide me, not fear. Not, you know, like I'm not going to just have them stick anything in my arm. They just, out of the blue, they just came up with that thing. Boom. Where did that come from? You know, and, so anyway, I do have to go now, but this is Starlight. I love you. I hope you get a lot of help. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could share it with a friend. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And whoopsie. And you can, don't forget the notification bell. You can leave a message down below. And if you want to contact me, you can at Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I love you. That was a lot of information. That was like a download. See, you just got like a download, just like what they do with the computers and the phones. You just got like a good download of information there. That's very, very worth it. You know, so, and like I said, you really ought to check out Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. You like downloads like that? He'll have some more for you. So anyway, I love all of you. This is Starlight. Light, love and light. Peace.